first off, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is a huge honor, man, to have you in this space, which represents a lot of things for both of us, but to have a conversation with you, telling people they don't realize how important you are as a person. I don't think you realize how important you are as a person to this community. And so I'm excited to be able to shed some light on that. And that's essentially what the lamp and post is intended to be, is the pedestal, the platform that elevates other people. And so I just want to honor you and thank you for your faithfulness over the years and for starting a good thing. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Ed Hopkins?
That's hard to explain. I guess I would say I'm a sinner saved by God's grace and a pilgrim seeking the kingdom.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Long ago, I set out on a journey with Christ, and I've been trying to follow him for the last 50 years. And part of that led to starting a bookshop and a coffee shop.
What brought you to the place? I mean, you talk about the bookshop first, and then what brought you to the place of starting the White Hart specifically?
I had been for a number of years a pastor, lived in different places in the South. I grew up in Virginia. Then I went away to college, got married. We lived over the different places in the South. And around 1991, we had the opportunity to come back to Virginia, and we settled in the Lynchburg area. And around about 1995, I just became convinced that I didn't want to have to move my family again. So I wanted a way to just stay in this area. Kids were still young in school. And so the Lord just laid on my heart the idea of a bookshop. And we found this place next door, 1206 Main Street, which at that time was empty, and these buildings were just being renovated by Eric Spain. And we were one of the first shops that took one of these shops from Eric, and I started a bookshop. That was around 95, 96. And the idea of that was to be a place where good literature, good books where people could find them. And I called it Inklings Bookshop because of the literary group that grew up around C.S. Lewis. So we wanted to encourage the reading of C.S. Lewis and Tolkien and G.K. Chesterton, Dorothy Sayers. But it was a general bookshop used in new books of all kinds.
Very good.
So I did that for about 10 years, and we watched a restaurant here. The first one was called Percival's in this place, 1208 Main Street. It went through 2 or 3 owners, and then another restaurant called the Bistro it went out of business, and this place was just sitting empty for a year or two. And I hope the Lord laid on our hearts to take this place and turn it into a coffee shop.
Wow.
Yeah, my son and daughter had both had good experience in the restaurant business, and my daughter Beth had been a coffee shop manager. So we had some experience to draw from them. And we started working on it around 2007 and opened in the September of 2007.
So it was a whole family affair.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife worked a lot on it. 2 of my sons worked, and 1 of my daughters. So.
Okay.
The hope was that would be something to pass on to them.
What was behind the name? So you had the Inklings Bookshop next door, you open up this cafe and you call it the White Hart Cafe. What was that?
Our desire was to create an atmosphere, something like an English pub. The public houses in England, Ireland, are places where people gather away from home, away from work, but a third place where people get together for good conversation, good food, music often. And we thought Lynchburg needed a place like that. There wasn't much happening downtown at that time.
Yeah.
Very few restaurants and almost no one living downtown. But so we were at a point where the space was available, the idea was there, then we thought the need was there. And the name White Hart came about because we wanted to invoke the English pub, but also the image of a white hart was significant to me, and just in terms of what it represents in the mythology of English literature.
Can you tell us a little bit about that significance, for those that may not know the literary significance of
Yeah, probably the most well-known image that a lot of people know is the white stag that appears in the Chronicles of Narnia. And of course, what that represents and what it represents in other mythology. There's a story of a saint called Saint Eustace. The name, if you know the Chronicles of Narnia, you know Eustace. But Saint Eustace met Christ in the form of a white deer in the woods. And Christ spoke to him through that encounter. He became a Christian. There are other stories like that. Another saint named Saint Hubert, I believe. Various other places where a white stag or a white hart, a white deer appears, cross is seen, or Christ is seen. So it's the image of the mysterious appearances of the Lord.
Gotcha. I know I was talking to a group yesterday and telling them some of the folklore around it, because, of course, it starts one way, then evolves over time. And a lot of the mythology around it is a symbolism of another reality, like bringing somebody on a quest or a deep adventure into another reality. And the idea was that if you caught the white hart or the white stag, that it would give you your heart's deepest desire, right? But theoretically, it was uncatchable. So I love all the symbolism of that for that reason. What would you say, beyond the name, as you started this place, what is the significance of this place as the White Hart Cafe to you, to your family, and what do you think then is the significance of this place to this community?
Well, to our family, it was both a joy and a sorrow. I mean, it was a lot of hard work. I'm not sure I would have done it if I had known how much work it would be and how costly it would be. It was a very stressful time. At the same time, we had a lot of joy in it because, we met a lot of people. We saw that it was meaningful to a lot of people. We had a good experience of bringing musical groups through, singer-songwriters, bands that were touring, and we asked them to come, and we had a lot of good musical acts, a lot of good performances, as well as open mics and a regular group of Celtic musicians that played here weekly. So there was a lot of joy in doing that, but it was a very difficult 3 years that we had the business.
What was the biggest challenge you guys faced in running that?
Well, having a manager as myself that didn't know anything about running a restaurant.
I can relate to that.
So I was not really well prepared for being a businessman. I had a small business in the bookshop, but that was basically a one-man operation. Suddenly having a payroll of 12 or 14 people, having to meet that, the overhead expenses, just did not anticipate how much that would be.
Gotcha.
And so keeping it all together, it was just a bit too much for me.
Gotcha.
I think, we did accomplish creating a meeting place for people. We provided good food, great coffee, and a meeting place. So it was, in that way, successful.
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, sometimes we look, obviously you have to measure a business success by the numbers to a degree. It has to be sustainable. But there's all these intangibles along the way that measure success. And I think that's what strikes me about your story, and what I really want people to understand is what they understand the White Hart to be and the significance that it is started with a guy. It started with somebody who had the courage to step out and do something very difficult. And, you being willing to share your story and talk about the beginnings is significant to people beyond even who you interacted with at that time. Like there are people now who were here in this spot 8 months ago who it was significant to because you started it. And I don't think people realize that. So I'm grateful that you pushed through the challenges and made this happen, because it's outlasted you already times however many generations of ownership that have been here. So, and that really kind of speaks to the next question I want to ask you, talking about legacy. And legacy can be a loaded word. You know, you had talked about how your hope was to have this as a legacy to pass on to your children, you know, kind of a financial vehicle as well. But already seeing the impact on this community, what vision did you have for the White Hart that you hope will continue through Lamp and Post?
Well, I guess I hope that you, the Lamp and Post, can become a place, or at least a ministry or a business, representing the good, the true, and the beautiful. I think that's a phrase that's often guided my thinking about what I want to do with my life. You know, promote those things that are good, those things that are true, and those things that are beautiful. I find a lot of that in poetry and literature and in music and in relationships. So I guess I would hope that the Lamp and Post would keep those transcendentals at the forefront. Truth, goodness, beauty.
Truth, what is true, what is good, what is true, what is beautiful. Is that your sequence, or did you get that from somewhere?
It's in the Bible.
Tell me about it.
It's in the Bible. It's also in classical philosophy, of course. Those things are called transcendental realities. That which is good, that which is true, that which is beautiful.
How do we do that as a community? How do we curate a space, an experience? You know, one of the things we talk about a lot is that people will come for what they expect, but they'll come back for what they experience. And I think it's the experience that they have when it includes those things, the good, the true, the beautiful, are often the things that draw people back. So how do we do that? How do we create that kind of a space?
I don't think I have a formula. I think you'll figure it out. It's probably different in different places. I think part of it is drawing on the resources of that particular community, the people, and what you find being offered. The art that's being produced here, the music that comes out of the people that are around. Truth is truth everywhere, I think. I don't believe that it's just relative. I believe there are absolutes, but I don't have a formula for how you might seek that.
Yeah,
You'll know.
that's so good. We can get off on a tangent here, because the idea of absolute truth is a very relevant question in a lot of contexts, but we'll leave that one alone for another time. I love that you say the what is good, what is true, what is beautiful. I'm gonna steal that. That's what you said. Well, I got two very simple questions to close us out with. What's a favorite book?
I don't think I have one favorite, but I could name a few that are favorites. At the top of the list would have to be anything by C.S. Lewis, particularly Chronicles of Narnia, the Space Trilogy. A lot of his apologetic works. All of Lewis was transformative for me. The Lord of the Rings trilogy.
There's another Inklings member. Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
And somebody from outside that group, Wendell Berry, especially his book Jayber Crow, Annie Dillard, Pilgrim at Tinker Creek, Even Law, Brideshead Revisited. You probably haven't heard of that.
No, I need to deepen my read.
It's a great book. Most people that don't know it, it's one of my favorites. I guess there are others along the way, but those are at the top of the list.
Awesome. great reading material. We accomplished something for sure. Last one, your favorite kind of coffee.
I'm pretty simple in coffee. I don't drink lattes and fancy stuff. I like African coffees, Kenya Double A,
Okay.
Ethiopians, Yirgacheffe, medium to dark roast.
There you go.
Hardly ever put anything in it. Just black. I like a good espresso once in a while.
You and I are very much alike in that regard. So the legacy continues in terms of coffee palates. So what do you think about Guatemalan coffee? All right. That's where we're starting. We got a lot of Guatemalan coffee right now. So that's where this is where we're currently at, but I hope to expand
Cool.
to other areas as well. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time and for sharing your perspective and your experience. You're a hero, man. I want you to know. I know it doesn't seem like it, but you're a hero to almost 2 decades of people who love this place and love what the White Hart brand represented. And our hope is to carry it on for many decades more. So,
If there's ever any way I can help you, man, I'm stand willing to help you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Amazing.